What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, this is a question that one of my subscribers asked me, and I had to think about this for a while, and I wanted to come up with an answer that I thought was at least somewhat comfortable. And they asked me, what do I think would happen if the NBA got rid of the three-point shot for one season? And that's the entire season. I mean, the preseason, the regular season, the mid-season tournament, the play-in tournament, and the playoffs, right? Well, what happened? Well, if we're talking about just one season, honestly, I don't think much is going to happen. I don't think much is going to happen. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, I think players at this point, they just play the way they play. You know what I mean? Players are just going to play the way that they normally play. I think they're going to still shoot from distance. There may be fewer half-court shots, maybe. But players are just going to play the way they play, but that's just the way they play. I don't know if all of a sudden guys are just going to, all of a sudden just paint, pack the paint. Not pack the paint, but, what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know if all of a sudden guys are just going to start, moving in and shooting a billion mid-range jump shots. I do suspect that there'll be more mid-range jump shots. Guys practicing on that a little bit more, but 1 year, not going to be enough time to really change the game like that. Look, how many times have we seen the NBA say they're going to change this and change that, and it lasts for 1 year, and it goes right back to how it was before? So I think that the guys who shoot threes are still going to shoot from distance. It's just going to be a two-point shot. Now their numbers are going to be affected, because you got to remember, you still have rules in place. The Charles Barkley rule, 3-second violation. There's still rules in place to prevent people from playing in the post like they used to in the 90s and into the 2000s. There are rules in place. So everything still is going to have to be kind of pushed out to the perimeter. But I do think that scoring is going to go way down, because the three-point shot's not be benefiting these three-point shooters. I think scoring is going to be 10 to 12 points lower. And certain players' numbers are really going to be affected. Guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Dame, all these guys, I think they're the ones going to be the most affected. Steph Curry's scoring average is probably going to drop by more than 5 points per game. Klay's probably by 4. Yeah, everybody's scoring is going to drop a little bit, because most of these guys scoring have been inflated by shooting so many threes. LeBron too. I guess with the three-point shot out of the commission, out of the way, guys are going to have to go for, if they're down 3, they're going to have to go for 3 the old-fashioned way, which is trying to get an and one, which is not easy. But, yeah, I mean, if it's just 1 year, I don't really think it's going to be these big drastic changes. I mean, look, even when there was no 3-point shot back in the 70s, we still saw guys shooting from distance. So that's pretty much how I look at it, man. More mid-range shooting. KD won't be as affected. He's a mid-range master. I still think everything's going to be pushed out to the perimeter to a certain extent. It's just that there's no 3-point line for these guys to physically stand around. So maybe that will encourage more motion, more movement. I don't know. Because I think behaviors are embedded in some of these players, That's just my take, man. I think that it would change the game. I think it would change some players' impacts. But I think that the game is just too embedded in itself right now for there to be monumental, significant changes. You know what I mean? And it will show you, without the 3-point line, how some players are not as impactful. So anyway, that's just all I got to say about it, man. I really don't, cause see, I always talk about how if you put a player from the past and put him in today's game, he would probably already have the mentality to shoot the three, because he's grown up today. But if you just change the game for one season and take away the 3-point shot, I don't think it's going to be this huge, big, shift. I think guys are still going to play a certain type of way. They're still, back then when there was no 3-point shot, you still had guys who were great outside shooters. Now, I think you're going to see less long-range threes because there's no incentive to do that anymore. You're not getting rewarded with a 3-point bucket. So you'll see less of that. But I think you'll still see, from half court in, you'll still see some guys hoisting up shots. Some of them ill-advised, some of them surprisingly on target. But anyway, that's just my take on it, man. Y'all might have a completely different take because I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. And at one point I was thinking about, well, maybe it would be a big difference. But I'm like, nah, these guys are too ingrained in their own ways, too stuck in their own ways, and the way they play is just ingrained in them. So I was like, nah, I don't think it's going to be this big a difference. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.